So me and Chase were looking at the odds, and a lot of them are honestly like skewed. Well, not skewed, but a lot of them are heavily favored. Like MVP right now, there's a massive advantage for Patrick Mahomes. It's really not that close. Can we pull it up real quick, actually?
Yeah.
So anyone who's not familiar with how these odds work, minus 155 means that Patrick Mahomes is the most favored, and then whoever's next closest in the plus is the next most favored. Mahomes minus 155, then the next closest is plus 575 to a Tagovailoa.
Yeah, look at Tua coming from the top ropes, dude.
So here's where it started. Like at the start of the season, it was Mahomes plus 650, so he was still kind of the front runner. Josh Allen was pretty much tied with him, then Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and then Tua was like a crazy underdog. Yeah. And you can watch as the weeks go by just how close it gets. You can see when Tua had an amazing game, another amazing game. You can see when Tua got injured, which is as his odds are going bad. And as soon as Tua comes back,
drops
really
down.
So yeah, I mean, Tua and Jalen Hurts are tied for second. Josh Allen's in third. Joe Burrow is pretty far off in fifth. And then Mahomes is in far first place. But the reason we bring that up is we were looking through these and we're like, which one's actually close? Defensive Rookie of the Year is clearly Micah Parsons. He'd have to do something horrible to not get it. Offensive Rookie of the Year right now is a pretty significant advantage for Kenneth Walker. Not too far behind is Dameon Pierce, but it's pretty clear Kenneth Walker's going to get it. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is very clearly Ahmad Gardner. And Aiden Hutchinson, I thought he'd be closer. He's not. I'm just a little biased. But it's Comeback Player of the Year that has a real serious race. And we want to talk about it and kind of make our predictions on this because this one's going to get a little spooky. Coming in at minus 150 is Geno Smith. No shocker there. Geno Smith has been so good. Yeah. It's been awesome to watch. Seattle's really exposing Russell Wilson. If anybody I actually feel bad for, it's Russell Wilson. That guy gets dunked on by the media every single week. Yep. And Geno Smith, the backup, is out here slinging in Seattle. You know?
Killing it.
Yeah, he has, and he's got no business. Coming into the season, people thought Seattle would be one of the worst teams. They'd say that they're a shell of their former team. They don't have this, they don't have that. And yet they got a positive record, and Geno's playing amazing. The next closest by 53 points, which is not a lot at all. It's going to take one decent game from one of these guys to switch it, is Saquon Barkley. It's so scary when a running back gets injured because you're always scared that they're going to come back and they're just not going to be who they were before.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Or Derrick Henry, I guess, too. All of them.
There's so many guys. It's just really sad to see, and it does happen. And I actually thought it was going to happen with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was too fast and too explosive for me to have him get an injury like that and then come back and do it again. And he's doing it again. Yeah. Not to mention, Brian Daboll is dialing up some great plays. They're using him a ton, and he's really efficient with the touches that he gets. So my prediction, I think Saquon Barkley gets it. I really do.
This ends before the playoffs, right? So it doesn't matter.
This ends before the playoffs. It does not matter how they do in the playoffs.
Gosh, that's tough. I'm surprised that Christian McCaffrey's like so far.
Well, you got to remember how long he was with Carolina doing nothing.
Yeah.
Now that he's on San Fran, it changes things. He's much more efficient with like his touches and stuff. But if Christian McCaffrey's with the Niners for the start of the season, he's probably a lot higher on this.
Who's Nick Gates?
Nick Gates is an offensive guard for the Giants. It's pretty awesome they've got him in here, actually.
That's really cool.
I think as far as publicity stunts go, it's probably virtually impossible for an offensive line to win this. Nick Gates, though, shout out to you.
Dope.
Yeah, I mean, he's blocking for Saquon.
I'm going Geno Smith. I think who's going to come out with it. Yeah, they're solid. And maybe it, like what you were just saying, it made me think of it. It'd just be way cooler for the media. Just
you
to be
think
like,
so?
Just to be like,
yeah, that's
Russell's gone, and now you got Geno Smith winning Comeback Player of the Year.
That's so true.
It's just gonna like cause a lot more controversy, maybe.
Well, that's a good point. I felt like for a couple years there, I felt like they robbed Aaron Donald. Or no, I felt like they robbed TJ Watt of Defensive Player of the Year. They kept giving it to Aaron Donald. But when you look at the stats, I was like, dude, TJ Watt should get this. Yeah. It's almost like they're trying to piss us off.
Right. Yeah.
So yes, I can see what you're saying.
Impression farming.
In fact, if they're going to impression farm, they're going to pick Saquon because everybody wants Geno, I think.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone's rooting for Geno.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It takes one good or one bad game when it's this close.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a lot easier for Geno to have a bad game.
That's true, but it's also easier for Geno to put up consistent numbers than it is for Saquon. Don't you think? Like Geno can go check down nation, throw a touchdown and interception to 200 yards. Saquon's got to get out there and run the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
For example,
I think it's just pros and cons would be.
Dude, when the Giants played the Lions, I think Saquon was dog shit.
Yeah, I think we held him to like 2 yards.
Well, look at the week before. Look at the week prior. What are the odds on the week prior? Well, yeah, that's because Geno didn't have a very good game either.
So it was. I mean, but
Look
yeah.
at this. Saquon's last game, 15 for 22 yards. He averaged 1.5 a carry.
Damn. Yeah.
That's no bueno.
No, that's not good.
Fucking Wan'Dale Robinson had 9 receptions for 100 yards. You gotta throw it to Saquon if he's gonna get comeback player of the year. Either way.
Okay. We'll check back in when these get voted on.
Dude, I'm so excited.
You got Saquon, I got
stuff.
Geno.
Dude, but you can kind of tell the other. So Mahomes will get MVP maybe. Mike is getting defensive player of the year. K-Dub is getting offensive rookie. Sauce Gardner's getting defensive rookie. Like, look at that gap, dude. So Mike is at minus 330. Judon's at 575.
Yeah,
right?
not even close. Then Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, Chris Jones. Offensive rookie of the year?
I believe it's a pretty... This is actually closer than I was giving it credit for.
Yeah.
So minus... So for anyone who doesn't understand these odds, I know a lot of you do gamble. Okay?
How cool would it be to have Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker get
2 Seahawks?
Yeah.
That would be super savage, actually. That'd be sick. So what this means, boys, is if you were to bet, let's say, $10 on Dameon Pierce to win Offensive Rookie of the Year right now, and he wins, you would make $37.50. So you're going to move the decimal point according to how much you bet. But if you bet on Kenneth Walker, since he's favored, you actually wouldn't even make you just make a little bit of your money back. Minus 140s, you'd make like maybe $6. So you bet 10 to make 16 total, if that makes sense. Yeah. I didn't do a very good job describing that, but point being, that might not look like a massive difference, but it is. This is Vegas saying Kenneth Walker is about 4 or 5 times more likely to win it than Dameon Pierce right now. But I can see Dameon Pierce having
Look at Christian Watson coming in out of the top ropes, dude. When he was like hurt and then had those 2 just back-to-back.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns in that first one, then he had 2 in this next one.
Yeah, he was on the 8th. He was plus, what is that, 20,000?
20,000.
And now he's plus 1,500.
I'm so surprised, honestly, that he jumped that far. I feel like Olave has been a crazy, consistent, great performer. I can't believe Olave's at plus 550.
Yeah.
I thought if anybody was going to get it, it's Olave. Dude, like, this is Olave's stat line. Okay, so far, he's got 51 receptions, 760 yards. I guess his touchdown numbers are not good. He only has 3 touchdowns. But he's consistently putting up like 70 yards a game. 102 in his first, then 40, 70, 50, 106, 50, 70, 150, 80, 40. I guess he didn't have as many touchdowns. Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, look up Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker's been a merchant though out there. And dude, Kenneth Walker wasn't even the starter for the first like 5 games or whatever. Kenneth Walker has 7 touchdowns. So he's got 4 more than Olave. So I think that's a big metric there. And he rushed for 109 against the Cardinals, 167 at the Chargers, 97 Cardinals, 88 Saints.
And he had like I remember there was a stat at some point. He was like, breaking the most tackles or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's called a forced missed tackle.
Yeah.
Is the stat. It's like for every possible tackle attempt, how often are you getting tackled?
And he was killing that. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Wow, they really didn't know, huh? So they had Aiden Hutchinson as the front runner at the start of the year. Ahmad Gardner is literally playing like a top 5 corner in the league. It's kind of fucked up.
And it is, yeah.
So it's Sauce Gardner by a good margin. Tariq Woolen's next closest. I guess Aiden Hutchinson for the first 4 or 5 games of the year really didn't do much. So
yeah, it's tough because he's so good, dude. And he literally has like 2 or 3 interceptions as a D end.
I don't like that Tariq Woolen's above. I have like what Tariq Woolen's done. I think Aiden Hutchinson's been better. So I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But Sauce Gardner is in his own league. Yeah. Honestly, he's so good. If he doesn't win it, it's literally rigged. Right. He has to win it.
All right, baby.
All right, boys. We'll see how these go.